story of Mungo Kentigern Hunter and the Battle of Pinkie Cleugh. Mungo Kentigern was born in 1515 to his parents Robert Hunter and Janet Montgomery. Kentigern is from the Gaelic meaning hound lord or high lord, which suited his role as Laird of Hunterston. Mungo, meaning dear one, was the 16th Laird of Hunterston Castle, taking on the role from his father in 1546. His position as Laird of Hunterston lasted for just one short year, as he joined the Scottish regent, the Earl of Arran, to fight off the English attack at the Battle of Pinkie Cleugh on the 10th of September 1547. The Battle of Pinkie took place on the banks of the River Esk near Musselburgh. It was the last pitched battle between the English and the Scots before the union of the crowns. King Henry VIII had previously tried to arrange a marriage between his son, Edward VI, and Mary, Queen of Scots, who was at that time just 5 years old. Henry VIII's intention was to join both England and Scotland through a royal marriage partnership. This would allow him and his ruling powers greater presence in Scotland. Henry VIII's previous conduct had not impressed many. His switch between church rule and erratic behaviour towards his wives and subjects had most regarding him with disdain. He was not a well-liked king. After Henry VIII died in 1547, Edward Seymour, who was the maternal uncle of Edward VI, assumed the role of Lord Protector, and he tried to force through the marriage between Edward and Mary, Queen of Scots, and an Anglican reformation on the Scottish Church. This became known as the Rough Wooing. The English rallied together and moved in to attack the Scots army, who, being far less in number, had rallied from across Scotland. The Duke of Arran led the Scottish men in what was to become known as the last major and bloody battle between the Scottish and the English. Mungo requested that his clansmen and family not be concerned for his safety. He assured his wife, Lady Marion Hamilton of Torrance Castle, and his 4 sons that he would give his all to protect Scotland's great lands. His predecessors had fought off the Viking invasions in the past, and he represented a proud and feisty race who did not know the meaning of defeat. He would prove that his efforts would represent the Hunter clan. He would last the course, and he told them to listen out for news of his return. Mungo and a few of his men would ride off to battle and fight to the end. There was a great deal of activity at the castle in preparation for the Laird's departure. A healthy and spirited horse was selected to carry the Laird to battle. Protective clothing and armour was made and polished. A new set of arrows were made with exceptional care given to the flight feathers, and preserved foods were prepared and packaged for the journey. Every member of the Hunter clan was busy in supporting their clan chief in whatever way they could, and imagining how the English army would fall on the receiving end of their master's exceptional hunting skills. Mungo had been preparing for this event since he was 7 years old, and now he was able to prove his skills at the most important event in his life. He was ready to join his countrymen in battle to protect Scotland's Queen and honour. The regent, Duke of Somerset, had decided that an invasion was the only way to secure a marriage to strengthen the English rule over Scotland. He marched his army, gathering ranks at Newcastle, then on to Scotland. It thought that 25,000 men, including 3,000 cavalry, assembled carrying newly fashioned armoury. The group of hunters rode off, allowing themselves several days to make the journey to the east coast. They arrived and were immediately engaged with the strategic positioning on the banks of the River Esk. The battle raged over 2 days and was a dramatic defeat for the Scots, who were well and truly outnumbered. The battle caused the virtual destruction of their army. The Duke of Somerset had ordered the English naval fleet to attack from the sea with cannon fire, and the English cavalry were armed with muskets, new and effective firearms which were capable of penetrating a suit of armour. This was no match for the Scottish army, who were armed mostly with pikes and swords. Somerset's men were able to fell the Scottish army at each aim and fire of their weapons. Some historians estimate that between 6,000 and 10,000 of the Scottish army were killed on the battlefield. Although the English were victorious in battle, they were unable to achieve their war aims, as the planned marriage between Edward and Mary did not take place. Mary was smuggled out of Scotland and sought safety in France, where she eventually married Henry II, the Dauphin of France. The old alliance between Scotland and France was renewed. Not only did the English not secure a royal marriage between the future English king and Scottish queen, but Somerset had left the Bank of England practically bankrupt after financing the battle. The English ended the rough wooing, and Scotland's independence was secured by a peace treaty signed in June 1551. Mungo Kentigern was one of many Scottish cavalry who fell at the Battle of Pinkie. He had promised his clansfolk that he would return, but his presence was never to be seen in the castle again.